And I guess, one of you first?
How much time do we have?
Don't go too long.
Explain too long?
Keep it to a couple minutes, at the most. Like, not longer than like 2 minutes. 2 minutes? 2 minutes. Opening statements for 2 minutes. 2 minutes.
Yeah, sure. I'll just time myself. Because I mean, there's so much to say about the EUS. So, hey guys, you guys probably all know me. My name is Patrick, and I'm running for EUS president. I was this year Cup EUS manager. I was also the president of Civil. So I know what's up. I've been there during the whole year, starting from like May last year. I was there helping the EUS to like put Cup EUS to print stuff with presidency, with civil president. I was involved in all the events, so I really know what's up, and I really know what needs to be done next year to have a really strong EUS. So there's a lot of key points that I will work on next year. To start off, I want to increase legal visibility. This sounds easy, but in fact it's actually hard. We started to, like, Brian started to hand out a survey to everyone, and there's some problems that need to be improved. So reach out to other universities in Quebec and in Canada. We're in Montreal and we barely reach other universities, and this is really bad. We're lucky this year that to have Pombo actually join the CFES, which is a Canadian Federation of Engineering Students. So we're really lucky to have that, and we need to keep this going on. We need to increase smooth relations. I don't know if you guys are all aware, but the chief in charge of MESC actually left, the person in charge left, and there's a new person. This is the perfect opportunity for us to jump, to like speak with them, start with new bases, and tell them exactly what we need. Of course, the long-term vision for 2020, this is super important. It's a project that was started this year. It's trying to come with a long-term vision for EUS that's more sustainable, more efficient, and more proactive. Okay, I have a lot of ideas that I won't be able to cover in 2 minutes, so I guess I'm going to stop here. What I'm going to tell you is, I know what's up, I know what needs to be done, I have a huge amount of knowledge about the EUS, and I have a lot of leadership experience. So vote for me, please. Vote for leadership, vote for that. Thank you.
Hi everyone, my name is Robert Forestell. I'm coincidentally also running for EUS president. I'm a third-year mechanical engineering student, originally from Fredericton, New Brunswick. I think you'll find that most campaigns tonight will be kind of running the same direction, just because the EUS has a tremendous amount of potential, all going the same direction, which is something we want to keep up. My platform, I guess it's based on 3 main key focus points. They're all really interrelated. It just is the nature of what the EUS is doing right now. Number 1, sustainability. We have tremendous potential. Hopefully I'm in the camera shot. We have tremendous potential. So there's like this voice over here. We have tremendous potential through our clubs, EWB, SEAM, Make It Limp Up Initiative, Solar Decathlon. I want to work closely with these clubs, and together I think we can really improve our visibility, not just on campus, but in Canada. We can create some design projects, put some plants in our hallways, etc. Number 2, yeah, no plants, winters all year long. Number 2, external relations. With SMU right now, our relationship is rocky at best. I want to work closely with SMU to fix this, to become more unified with the rest of campus. I want to work closely with other universities, like Patrick mentioned, through CFES. And I also want to work closely with MESC, who has a new leadership right now, so that's something we kind of have to rebuild. That leads me to my 3rd point, EUS 2020. It's an excellent initiative started this year by our current executive team. It's all about restructuring the EUS, making us more fluid, more streamlined, and that's really important. I'm also hoping that within this portfolio to create some design projects, like a better, more sustainable OEP, best place on earth, creating maybe a beverage cooling system for OEP once again. So all these things kind of tie in with my general campaign. Is that 2 minutes? Okay, I'll finish off briefly. So everyone can bring fantastic ideas to the EUS. With my experience as an executive on MAME, as well as being an executive on Tech Week, working, volunteering at tech fair, many other things, mostly academic. I think not only can I bring these ideas to the EUS, but I can bring them to life. Thank you.
That was question period.
Yeah.
Is that it?
That was it for. That was for me to answer everybody's questions.
Excellent.
If anyone has questions, if not, great for it. You can't have a debate when they both have similar ideological principles.
That's the thing. I mean, we're going to say like, hey, I agree more. What do you want to do?
Okay.
Can Dean come in and ask a question?
So I have a couple of questions, but I'll say that I think the most interesting one for you guys to kind of like see the vision that you have. So what do you think is, if you could say one challenge, what do you think will be the biggest challenge that the EUS is going to have to face next year?
I guess I can go first.
Yeah, I don't know how you want.
Yeah, Robert first this time.
Okay, cool. The biggest challenge, this might sound a little vague, but honestly I think it's going to be keeping up what we started this year as an executive team. Two big things are that coming up there's the budget, which is going to be very rough. We have big products coming in that we need to keep our sponsorship up for. We really want to focus on that, make sure we don't go bankrupt, which is a legitimate issue. So that's number one. Number two is to really improve our visibility Canada-wide. McGill is kind of a black sheep in a sense in the provincial level as well as the national level. So I really want to improve our recognition as one of the top universities in Canada. So I think those two things along with keeping up what we're doing now are the best course of action.
Patrick?
Okay, well I guess to build on that, increasing, not only keeping up, but doing better, that's what's being done. Doing better to what's being done right now is going to be really hard. Right now we have a huge volunteer basis, and this is going to be really hard to improve, to keep increasing it. So next year, I think one challenge is going to be to reach out to even more people. But I guess, yeah, there's also, okay, let me restart. So of course, there's the money aspect, which is not that a problem from looking at budget. Okay, I'm sorry. So yeah, just keeping momentum is going to be the main challenge for sure. That's what I think. And increasing the volunteer base is going to be also really hard. I'm going to stop here. Sorry about that.
I have a question. So, as a U2, I was a U0 not a long time ago, and honestly, I didn't know what the EUS was. I didn't know what the G-Store was. I didn't know what Copy US did. And there was very little visibility with respect to the U0 community, which is frankly huge, and it's you know, people that are going to become involved in university life in U1, U2. How do you plan to reach out to that market in terms of services, and reach out to those students and include them in the EUS kind of life?
Okay, well, this is actually something I kind of covered in my platform that I didn't post online because I had way more to say than what was posted. So the first impression is really important. First impression, I was there last week when we went to Discover McGill. The EUS president gave a really good speech to students, and this is going to be really important to make them want to be part of the EUS. Also, I was thinking putting a nice pamphlet in the package you get during Frush, just to so they know, just learning. Also, getting reps in U0, I don't think all departments have some. We have some in civil. I don't think it's a thing for every single department.
So two things regarding EUS U0 students. U0 students, a lot of them right now in residence. Now it's one thing to just go to residences and say, hey, listen, all engineering students, come out to this, come out to that. It might be an idea, although we don't want to spam the rest and go with this. So I think maybe creating events catered to resident students would be something. The other thing is our EUS Student Council. Recently this year is doing a really good job, but I think that maybe if EUS can connect more closely with the council, or work more together, give them some of our experience as upper year students on how to lead events. I think that'd be a very good step towards including the U0 demographic.
Split planner.
So you say EUS 2020 is important for both of you. On which EUS 2020 standing committee do you sit on?
Both. Well, two of them, sorry. I think there are 5. Three?
Three.
Okay. There are a lot. It's a big project. Last night, Pat and I both sat on the VP Externals EUS 20 portfolio. That I think again ties into the whole, everything's going one direction. We both have the same ideologies. So I sat on that one. We talked about most particularly how to reach out, how to expand, how to be more recognized, how to promote our society to the Quebec level, but also the federal level. That's very important to us. The other one was with Carlos. I've been to a few, one of those I think so far, and we focused on more of the restructuring in the EUS, changing portfolios, changing names, changing responsibilities, again to make us a more intuitive organization and to avoid overlap, but make everyone kind of aware of what they have to do and make it simple.
Okay. I'm actually currently sitting in, I'm currently sitting in the 3 2020 groups. I actually only attended the one for the external relationship. This is mainly due because I'm the CUS president right now, and I had a lot of other commitments so I couldn't meet with the people at the same time. However, I made sure to stop by the US office and look at what has been done. I went to Posio, well, there was nothing actually posted that much, but I actually dropped by the US office and looked at what has been done, just to make sure I know what's up and I'm on top of everything. Right.
I guess for either of you, what will your commitments be next year if you did get the position of U.S. president?
Commitments.
Commitments next year you would have if you became U.S. president.
I'm assuming I'm going to be U.S. president.
Hypothetically speaking, if you were a U.S. president, what other commitments would you have if you had any?
Oh, no. Maybe being kind of a mentor for CUS because I'm the president, so just making sure everything goes along the line, but I'm going to be US president for sure. And only that.
I do have one more commitment, that's class. I plan on taking 12 credits a semester for the next 2 semesters, if elected. Other than that, hopefully 8 hours of sleep and 3 meals a day. And and other than that, it's honestly completely devoted to the U.S. presidency.
This was a question asked to me by somebody sent it to me to ask. In response to the email sent out by Pombo this year.
No.
Or no? Okay, never mind. Heard it for someone else.
Hi. Let me just guess who that might be. It's me, isn't it? It's me.
Can I ask a related question?
Yeah, go for it.
What is the place of social equity in the U.S.?
Sorry, can you coming up?
The place of social equity in the U.S.
Oh, it's extremely important. That falls into the sustainability portfolio, I think. The thing with equity is that it means so many different things to so many different people that it's hard to really give it a proper definition. Social equity, as we might be aware through the past few, I guess, incidents on campus, is a subject that most, or I guess many students aren't fully aware of, don't fully comprehend. I think the next steps towards improving social equity on campus is to really probably, I guess, make workshops for students to make them aware, incorporate it into our key classes. FAC 100 being one of the big ones, which I think we already held some tutorials in there. I think I heard they went well, and I think that's something we should continue. It is a little bit harder to reach up-year students just because they already have their mentality set, but it's still something we could look into. So it's extremely important to me personally, and I think it should be very important to the EUS. I think we're going in the right direction, dealing with past incidents.
What? it's hard to cover it more than that. I'm just going to add that proper leadership through all student society and through all leaders is going to help to increase this social responsibility already social equity. But yeah, it's hard to add more than that. But who could be against equity?
People that understand.
Yes. Yes.
So I think, Robert, you said that McGill is sort of a black sheep on the engineering, or not on the engineering, sorry, just on university-wide.
On the
federal level. It also kind of seems like the engineering faculty is like the black sheep of the McGill campus. Our image isn't exactly, I guess, the best. How would you go about like building that image and making us look better to the other faculty?
Why do we look bad?
Sorry?
Why do we have bad?
I don't think we have a bad image. Other people tell me we have a bad image. I love it.
Well, building relationship with other faculty is really important to me. This year with civil, we tried to start doing it with nursing. With EUS, we started to have a partnership with EUS, which is a management society. It's really important, and by reaching out to these faculties, it's going to help improve our image. Because they won't see only the bad stuff that we do, they're going to see also the good stuff that we do, which we do a lot, and people are not fully aware of it. I was also thinking of creating some videos to promote things that groups like PPO do, to show how much money they raise, how efficient, just so people are aware of all the good stuff engineering do. Because right now there's not a lot of publicity for the good thing we do. People only see bad stuff. And also reaching to SMU is also would be really important.
I think you touched on an important point, publicity. For me, not necessarily videos, but maybe developing our contacts with some newspapers on campus. I know the Bull and Bear is actively interested in expanding the EUS involvement in their publications. But it's also, it kind of ties in with what I said earlier about developing our bonds with SMU, as well as with McGill as an entirety. I think overall, Patrick covered it really well. I think that's it.
So you guys both touched on that US might have a bit of a tough time financially next year. Consequences variable. How are we going to ensure that's not going to affect all that is the US these days?
Sure. Well, we have already systems in place to counter the budget cuts, but of course the budget cuts are only part of the problem. There are some projects that want to go ahead regardless or not if we have the money, which might drag us into deeper waters. So a couple ways to address this is through increasing the funds that are available, per person through the USF. Which might not be a very popular decision, but another option to preemptively stop these issues to affect us as an organization would be to focus a lot on our sponsorship committees, to keep up, to really get some good people in there, reaching out externally to companies, to organizations, maybe even the government. We'll see if we connect with things like that. But it's really about thinking ahead and making sure we're doing the best we can with the circumstances we're in.
Okay, well, as most of you guys are probably aware, last Tuesday was Budget Council. And yes, we did have a deficit during the last 2 years. And yes, according to our constitution, we need to not run a deficit next year. But this year, we had a lot of once in a lifetime expenses. So it doesn't look as bad as we think it does. I thought it was worse before actually seeing the budget from this year's council. So I don't think it's as bad, but yeah, we're gonna have to have a sponsorship workshop to train clubs and committees and departments to try to reach out to find new ways of get funding. I'm going to just quickly mention EUS. EUS is a vibrant example. This year we had about $10,000. Well, yeah, we will have about $10,000 of expenses that won't happen next year. This was for technician and new machines. So there's a lot of expenses. Same thing for G-Store. There's a $3,000 that was invested. That won't be spent next year. So it's not as bad as we think it is, but obviously every single person they're gonna have, every single committee and club and whatever, they're gonna have to pay a bit more attention to their budget, for sure. Yes?
How would you classify your leadership method? And how will you manage the EUS executive team? It can be really challenging sometimes because a lot of people are very busy and a lot of people have huge responsibilities in their portfolios. How would you go about it? What will be your way? How are you? That's very broad, but like no, but it's important. Like whoever, I don't know who goes first. But yeah.
Okay, well, I'm actually glad you asked because actually before running, I made some testing lines to see my leadership style. And my leadership style is actually, I listen a lot to people and I value the opinion of my exec team. I think this is really important as a leader. There's some leaders that are more like gonna give like more orders, and I'm more of a passive leader that actually takes, receive, analyze, and then give my own opinion, but still value the other one. Like, there's some ideas that we did for civil this year that I disagreed, but my whole council thought it was a good idea. So, as a leader, I took like, I don't think that my personal opinion I only look at the facts to take decision, even though my personal opinion was against. So this is kind of my real leadership. I take a lot, analyze, respect my team, and of course, if there's people that do less or don't work well, I'm gonna tell them one-on-one and take some action. But yeah, that's my type of leadership.
I think Patrick touched on some good points. Being a listener, I also took some tests a few years ago, back on high school council, and I also am more of the listener. But more than just a listener, I think one of the key qualities is to be empathetic, to understand. Say one of your execs, aren't performing up to what's expected of them. You can't just go up and start, you have to understand where they're coming from. Maybe they're having problems at home, maybe they're just being drowned by schoolwork. So it's more than just leading and pushing people to do things. It's really about taking a backseat sometimes. Really touching base, checking the pulse, being the glue that holds everything together. So that's my style. I'm not planning on bossing people around. If anything, I expect some people that do have more experience than me to guide me along as a leader myself.
So to build on Carlos's question, what kind of team management mistake did you do in the past, and how did you go about it to solve it?
What kind of team management mistake did? Yeah. So this past year, as part of my portfolio as VP Academic, I organized a couple book sales. The first one was a very, very good success. I think I didn't have the chance to look at numbers from past years, but it was, we sold, I guess we had a pass rate because we sold more books, about 50% or something. Anyway, it was a very big success, and that kind of gave me a really good feeling about the next one this past winter. So I decided to take a back seat, feeling a bit overconfident. And that kind of bit me because on our Google Drive, I wasn't taking the initiative to make sure all the spots were filled out. So this semester we had students bring their books back up to Maine a couple hours early, and which ultimately falls back on me as a leader. So I think overconfidence would be one of them that I'm actively working on, and always learning from mistakes.
Okay, so I personally think the biggest mistake I did this year was that I didn't bring my council together enough. Social are really important. Having a team that works together is the most important thing for a group. And this is my main mistake I did this year. I kind of waited a bit too long to do this. I thought it would happen spontaneously. And this is something that if I'm elected, I will work on a lot because it's important. It's synergy, which means from doing the work together. Oh, and he touched some good points.
I think we're going to cut it one more, if there is one more. Or if there is none, just cut it now.
Okay, we're starting to warm up.
How come he got a beer and I didn't get a beer?
Yeah. There's a question here in front.
I was talking about you.
How do you plan on improving your relations with SMU?
Well, It sounds really simple, it's in fact not. You just go ahead and meet with them. Try to attend some of the events, try to invite them to some of our events. Sounds simple, but president and any exec position is a lot of time commitment, especially also for Ms. Moo. So it's going to be a lot of work. We're going to have to make some sacrifice to attend the event, but it sounds simple, but it's actually just need to show up and speak with them. Perhaps present some motion during the council to increase the student life. But of course, we need I need to step in there and see how it is before I can actually tell some ideas. It's kind of hard when you're actually involved in it to take a stance.
I think it's very much a two-way street in the sense that if we want to get involved with Smooth, they have to want to get involved with the EUS as well. So that, like Patrick said, it is a lot of meeting with people, but using your official communication lines as well. Go ahead.
I also, let's mention it, it goes along finances, the question about finances and the question with me. I was considering bringing back Pub Night to generate revenues and increase relation with Zoom. Are you guys all aware of what Pub Night is? So yeah, I was.
What's Pub Night?
What's Pub Night?
It's kind of like Blue Spa, but in this new building, it was run once a month per multi-departments. I'm not sure about that. But yeah, this is also a way that we could increase relations. And this was just by having an event for the whole campus, not just Blue Spa. Yeah, this was there.
So I think it's very much a two-way street. I won't repeat myself, but there was that, and as well as working closely with our SMU rep, who sits on council, who attends a lot of meetings, and really getting a lot of feedback from them. I think that honestly is one of the best ways we could approach a situation. Make sure that we are on the same page with SMU as in terms of what is expected from the relation and what events we both want to organize together, and I think we can go from there and make a great this happen.
Yes?
We do have one more. You haven't had it for a while. Let's go for it.
I think both of you also mentioned that sustainability is important on campus and engineering. I saw that, for example, in Robert's campaign, you mentioned that initiatives like EWB, SEAM, Solar Decathlon, Wind Pump Initiative is important. Have you talked to those groups? If yes, whom, and what kind of feedback did you get?
Sure. I spend a lot of my time talking with the McGill Wind Pump Initiative, just because it is one of the more the newest group of the pack, I guess, of sustainability related groups. And their feedback was that it's kind of a struggle to really get your name out there. It's even a struggle just to even get registered as a club under the EUS. So my course of action regarding this would be to sit down, hold a meeting with all of our sustainability-oriented groups, which I think has actually already been done. They've been working on this, and really get some feedback of what they expect, how we can go from there, structure it in a way that makes sense, that gives everyone a fair say, and make the most of what they want to do, because ultimately they are their own leaders, they have their own ideas, and I want to be there to support them and empower them with what they need to succeed.
Okay. From my side, I never really spoke with EWB. I spoke with some important people in EWB, but I never had any really important discussion. In the past, I was a member of Solar Decathlon, but I quit when I became civil president because of the new responsibilities I had. So of course, never spoke to Wind Pump either. However, my vision of sustainability, and I spoke with the SEAM, the person in charge of SEAM, which is right there. However, my vision of sustainability is more than just these groups that do that. My vision of sustainability is having a long-term vision, something that lasts. And this is what I want to bring also to EUS, not just focusing on these groups that work on sustainability, but also having something a group that lasts. Build a vision. I tried to do it for civil this year. I'm gonna make sure the next president also does it. So this is how I see sustainability. It's more than just these small groups that work on being more eco-friendly, or so yeah, that's the way I see it also. it's beyond that.
Okay, I'm now going to give you 1 minute for closing statements, and this time I will cut you off if you go over time. Just letting you know. Robert spoke first last time, maybe?
I mean, for our introduction.
Doesn't matter. Why did you go?
Robert.
Patrick, go.
Yeah.
No, Robert, go.
I think it should.
I don't care.
Just,
Be a leader.
okay, sorry. I was just like trying to make a quick plan for what I was going to say. All I want to say is tonight I might have some mistake where I was speaking, but I have a lot of good ideas. I guess I was a bit stressed, so please come see me after if you want to chat more. I'm gonna be around for like the whole night. I have a lot to share. As I said, I have a really huge knowledge. I know what's up. I've been involved so much in the US. I really love it. I'm a really committed person, and I have a lot of passion regarding this. So this is why I truly think I would be a really strong president for the US next year.
So, no matter your background or the title next to your name, when filling in bigger shoes, I think there's a huge learning curve, and there's no way around it. However, I believe that I have the skills, the teamwork, project management skills to really take on this challenge and to really be able to do a great job as a US president. That's all for me, I think, but I really want to keep a focus on keeping the momentum going and keep doing great things. Thank you.
I think we're now good to go for VP services. Everyone's still here? Cool.
I have no idea what they do. I know what all this is. Dude. Like, I know what the portfolios of everybody else is. I don't know what the president is. I was going to ask, but I was afraid it was going to be a stupid